First things first, what is Labour playing at in this latest cabinet reshuffle? You know, it looks absolutely disastrous and it looks like they're gearing up for more failure down the line. This woke Labour council on your screen right now is going to try and make us believe that Shabana Mahmood replacing Yvette Cooper as Home Secretary is going to be a good strategic move, and she's going to crack down on immigration, whilst he's also going to be saying, this same guy, that Yvette Cooper was very effective with her immigration policy. I don't know how he can say that with a straight face when people were literally protesting. They're still protesting, in fact. You know, for this past weeks, couple of weeks actually, months, people have been protesting about asylum hotels, and he can sit down and say that Yvette Cooper was effective. But what's even more crazy is the fact that he thinks Shabana Mahmood is a good replacement. Absolutely not. You know, you have to remember, you know, people are coming in from the Middle East. You know, and Shabana Mahmood has declared and said that her religion is the most important thing in her life. So when people are coming over that are Muslim, she's of course going to sympathize with them, because she said it like, the most important thing in my life is my religion, Islam.
Islam, my own religion. Like a lot of practicing Muslims, my faith is the most important thing in my life. It is the absolute driver of everything that I do. I feel a very strong calling of my own conscience, and my conscience calls me to God. That is how.
So when Muslims are coming over, why is she going to be hard on them? You know, she, you know, will possibly take a soft, you know, stance as it relates to them coming over. And that's just facts. That's just coming out of what's come out of her own mouth. And she said that.
I just wonder what you think of this reshuffle, because are you happy, for example, that Shabana Mahmood is the Home Secretary when she's previously been on a pro-Palestinian demonstration?
Yeah, I mean, I think Shabana Mahmood as a formidable politician is going to be a brilliant opportunity to see her shine in a really important brief. I'm particularly encouraged that she's been so outspoken about Article 8 of ECHR and the need to have a real debate there about whether that is really working and functioning as intended. So look forward to seeing her get into role and take on a very challenging area of government, solving one of the hardest problems that I think any government has had to solve in recent years.
It's not exactly a ringing endorsement of Yvette Cooper. Yvette Cooper is someone who is one of the most experienced MPs in Parliament, one of the most experienced ministers. She was working pensions secretary under, I think it was Tony Blair or Gordon Brown. I think Tony Blair, actually. So, I mean, if someone of her experience can't get to grips with it, why are you so confident Shabana Mahmood can?
Well, I think she has got to grips with it, and we've talked about this before. A lot of them, the numbers.
Sorry, hold on. Sorry, you think Yvette Cooper got to grips with immigration?
Well, if you look at it through the prism of getting down the asylum backlog, or increasing enforced deportations, or bringing down the hotel bill, those are all going in the right direction. So there was a lot of positive progress.
So you think immigration, you think Yvette Cooper got a, you think immigration was got a grip on under Yvette Cooper's time? Well, if that was the case, why didn't he keep her as Home Secretary? And I think a lot of people would question your judgment on that, Sebastian.
I don't know why she wasn't kept as Home Secretary. I sadly don't have any special insight on that one. I'm pleased to see her going from one office of state to another. So there's clearly not a demotion here. And I look forward to seeing what she gets on with within
the Foreign Office is much less important than the Home Office.
Especially now,
the Foreign Office is much less important than the Home Office.
Pensions, there was a lot to be solved there.
The Foreign Office is a lot less important than the Home Office. It is a demotion, even though it's a great office of state. I mean, I would question that. Well, I think you're wrong. In fact,
you're very welcome to think I'm wrong. I also think you're wrong.
Okay, well, you're entitled to your opinion, and you're entitled to be wrong. Tell us about how you think Yvette Cooper has got to grips with immigration, because what we see are hundreds of people coming over on small boats. We see Labour has only actually forcibly deported about 4,500 people, and we see that when they're told by a court to close a hotel, they don't do it.
Yeah, so if we want to talk about enforced removals, deportations essentially, the number from March 2025 this year for the last year is more than 8,000, and it's up. I can't quite remember how much, but a significant figure on the previous year. So that is an improvement. The asylum backlog has come down significantly. That's very important if you want to make sure that you are processing those applications and getting through them, and crucially getting people out of hotels and other forms of accommodation, which I know many.
There's still over 200 hotels open though, Sebastian.
Yeah, you're quite right about that, and that's why the government has pledged to get that down to 0 by the end of this term. So
Yeah, when they're told
all
to
of
close
these
one of
numbers are
them.
moving in the right direction.
Well,
It's very easy to be negative about this,
well,
but
they're
are
not
also
moving in
some
the right
positives,
direction.
and any balanced commentator would acknowledge the good as well as the bad.
They're not moving in the right direction in the fact that there are 200
Well, I'm
hotels
telling
still
you that
open.
these numbers are going.
If you'll
are
just
going
listen
in
to
the
me,
right direction.
Sebastian, if you'll just listen to my question, they're not
Sure.
not going in the right direction if there are 200 hotels still open, and when the court tells them to close one of them, it says no. How confident are you that all of them will be closed by 2029?
Well, again, I don't have any particular levels of foresight or clairvoyance, but I'm pleased to see the cost, at least, of those hotels is coming down. That's down by 30%, which is brilliant news for anybody who's a taxpayer in this country. The way to close those hotels is in a managed way. So the court ruling that we saw, and this is all in the past now, at least for now, was unhelpful because it would have forced the government to make very quick decisions. That's no way to solve this issue. You have to be able to be thoughtful and to plan ahead. As you know, you were a special advisor in government, and I'm sure you didn't make any rash or quick decisions you hadn't properly thought through. You prefer to be cogent and to be considerate and to make decisions that you had really given a lot of thought to.
Sebastian Salik is his name, and he believes that Yvette Cooper was effective, you know, as it relates to immigration, you know, the immigration policy. Yvette Cooper was terrible, and this is why she's basically been demoted, like, you know, the host said. You know, she's been demoted because she's just simply just not competent in what she's meant to be doing. And the fact that he can sit here with all this chaos happening, be so calm and collective, and just talk about how Labour's doing very, very well in his mind. And before they even got to this conversation, he was saying how, well, you know, Angela Rayner, he was defending Angela Rayner as well. He was saying that not all of us are clued up as it relates to tax when you want to buy a property. So, you know, she could have just, you know, not have been paying attention, or she could have been given wrong advice. It's not really her fault. I'm thinking to myself, like, this guy he's not serious, man, honestly. There's no accountability from this guy when it comes to this Labour government. He's not holding anyone accountable, you know. And honestly speaking, Shabana Mahmood can come in and do whatever, and he's going to support that. If he thinks Yvette Cooper was effective, then no matter what Shabana Mahmood does, he's going to say she done well. She was great as well. So when you're speaking with people like this on the left, they're just completely unhinged. Like, you know, their mindset is, their mind is just operating on a different planet, honestly. So I don't know what he's seeing in this Labour government that he admires so much. I think Shabana Mahmood is not going to be effective whatsoever. This problem of immigration is just going to carry on spiraling out of control. Labour don't really want to crack down on it. And I just don't see how this progresses from here on. And for the next 4 years, honestly, it's crazy. Anyway, guys, let me know in the comment section down below what you think. Like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll catch you at the next video. Peace.